Thank you all for coming to this exciting update webinar around Four Oceans. And it's certainly, like in most cases of any business opportunity that you are introduced to, all about timing. And timing couldn't be better to be on such a webinar as to what you're going to hear from today. We have an amazing panelist group that are going to inform you and give you some up-to-date information as to the next steps, what you should be looking for, give you some insight as to what's been happening on the journey through to where we are today, give you some special ideas and dates as to what you should be pointing towards and looking towards, and of course share with you straight from the owner and founder of the business, Robert, the vision of this business and where it will be at launch and where it will be over the next 6 to 12 months. Through my journey in this industry, it's been exciting to have with international leaders and as we go into this journey of the launch of this new business, it's certainly great to be part of such an amazing group of people and leaders within the industry that are going to set a platform that is going to allow us to take this business not only into one or two countries, but around the world. Certainly one of the things is that we have a global business, not a business that's going global, a global business from day one. Everything that's been set, everything that's been developed and created has been set with that in mind, set so that it will allow us to be able to explode this business on a global scale from day one. So if you have ever wanted to be in the right place at the right time, you've found it, and it's with great pleasure that I am introducing Robert to come and give us an update on the progress of the business and of course the vision of this amazing. Hello, Robert.
I think.
Hello, Robert. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
How are you?
Yeah, really good.
Well, thanks for having me on your call.
No, thanks for being here, and everyone's really excited about the vision and where we're heading. But more importantly, everyone's really interested in hearing your story, I guess the journey of where this business has been, is now, and is about to go.
Actually, excuse me, before we go on, can we, there's a bit of background noise there. I think it's Muzaffar. Can you please mute yourself, Muzaffar? Absolutely. Back to you, Robert.
All right. So, again, thanks for having me on the call. And I guess we just wanted to take a little time out in our crazy journey that's been going on. We've been working 7 days a week, like 14, 16-hour days, and entire teams of people actually around the globe. And, you know, a bunch of those people are on this call that I wanted to acknowledge and talk to and have them talk to you guys as we kind of turn the corner going into launch mode, basically. We've been talking a lot about what we call this and you know, people talking about open enrollment or pre-launch or launch, and, you know, the overwhelming sentiment is we're just going to press play and you know, start this mission of helping people achieve what they're looking for in their hopes and dreams. Adam, I don't know if are you showing my screen, or can I just put a couple slides up? Great. All right. Can you confirm that you see a welcome message?
Sure do.
Great. So I know there's been a lot of talk about, what's been going on and what's coming, and, what are we doing in general? What's our product? What's our mission? What's our rewards plan? And I wanted to kind of get some of that stuff out of the way up front. Just a few of the questions that have been being asked, and specifically for this call, because everybody on the call here tonight are participants in this business opportunity. In other words, although you'll be consuming the curriculum of our product, all of you on the call will be promoters and partners of our products to the world and acquiring customers. But I wanted to address, some of those business-related components tonight up front, but I really wanted to talk about, who we are and why we are and where we're going and what the big picture is. And I think that's what everybody's been, waiting to talk about in here. And we have some people on the phone that are the team here in Dallas, Texas, as well as some of the other leaders around the world. They're also on the call that I've invited onto the call because, this is a team effort. This company is all about a group environment, team environment. We're one company with, one mission. And for most all of us, the conversations have been, this is the last time we're going to be in a home-based business company. At least I know that is for me. We're putting all of our emphasis, all of our eggs in this basket, so to speak, for the long-term journey of helping people, like I said, achieve their hopes and dreams. The first person I wanted to introduce everybody to is the person who's been responsible for what you haven't seen yet. I've been a web designer and developer and digital artist for probably 20, 25 years of my life. And I've always seeked in business to find when I've had partners or employees or managers, people that have just vision in how they operate and what they see in terms of design and marketing. And, we've really been blessed, I've been blessed to have met a gentleman who, over the last 20 years himself, has become almost iconic in the design and marketing industry globally. He's had clients such as Disney and Sony and Warner Brothers and AEG, and has a musical background, both from a promotional standpoint, but his vision is unparalleled. And he's been able to design things for other companies in this industry, direct selling companies that you would know the names of. Today, he's on this team as an owner, as a member of the executive team. He's actually our chief marketing officer, and I'm really, really proud to have his vision for the first time as an owner of a direct selling company, to really have his vision unleashed in his sandbox that he's managing with his team. And his team he's had for 15 or 20 years, depending on which team member we're talking about. So this is a group of people that have been together for a very long time. And so I'd like you guys to meet Dave Neal, who's the CMO of 4Oceans. And Dave, I just want you to just say hi and give the audience a little.
Well, I appreciate the introduction, Robert, and it's not too often I get to bear with me. I'm eager to get this unveiled to the world. We've been incubating the idea for almost a year. Robert's got more intellectual capital and time on it than even I do, and we can't wait to unveil it. And we're very, very, very eager. I think we'll be very, very proud of what we come up with. And we're eager to get feedback from the field as to functionality, usability, what you like, and we're going to be there for the long haul. And with that, we're home stretching, and I think Robert's going to share some of the aesthetic and look and feel of our product tonight, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thanks, Robert.
Dave, it's an honor and a pleasure. I'm really excited about what's going on with the team and the things that I'm seeing. And I'm not gonna show them very much. Maybe a couple of teasers I got on a couple of slides. But for everybody listening, 98, 99% of everything you're going to see has come from Dave's vision. I'm talking color schemes, logos, branding. It's incredible. And like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm excited about the stuff that we're doing is best in class. Anyway, the next person I want to bring on is someone who's been in this industry equally as long, a couple of decades, and really is very well known, but has yet to experience what is about to happen on this journey together. An unbelievable talent. Again, I've been in this industry for a while, but one of the things that I've learned along the way is in modeling legacy companies. I've spent an exorbitant amount of time studying the big billion-dollar companies, Amway, Avon, Mary Kay, and across the board, the success of these companies and many others, the most successful companies in the industry, frankly, have a significant foundation of training, personal development training, life skills training. In fact, it's interesting. I learned this on this journey that network marketing is probably one of, if not the only industry in the world that has inspired or taught personal development to more people than any other industry. It's interesting to watch people, grown adults who haven't been taught life skills, haven't been taught basics like goal setting, or leadership development, financial literacy. It's not taught in school. It's not taught in college. It's not taught on the job in a lot of cases. But in network marketing and direct selling, this most successful companies concentrate on that as one of the most important, if not the most important, elements of your success in building your home-based business. So there's a lot of great trainers out there, but there's very few that have a specific skill set that not only know how to teach life skills, but know how to entertain while they're doing it, and can move an audience and make training fun, and have the knowledge and skill set of what culture is in training. So we're blessed to have brought onto the team someone who has that kind of skill set, among many other things. And actually, what he's going to do for us tonight, just in a quick 5 or 6 minutes, he's going to describe a couple of the things about the rewards plan that we're going to have as part of 4Oceans. And so I'd like to introduce, for the first time, into the 4Oceans equation, Mr. Muzaffar Nafi. Muzaffar, are you there?
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just great. Can you see my screen?
I can. First of all, sorry for any of the background noise at the beginning. I guess I was overly excited to be on this call, and for Adam and our leaders and people around the world, from Australia to quite a few folks that are on from different parts. Thank you for your time. Robert, thank you for the kind words, and to be a part of the team. You know, it's almost like, and I don't know about everyone else's experiences. For me, it's almost like I equate a lot of things to sports, and I'll use basketball for example. But I feel like someone that's been on a team, as far as that's had some success, but more or less had to be the person on the team, whereas now you don't have to be. None of us do. Because we as a group, when you look at the background of people like Jim Mensch, and you look at Dave, who you just heard from, and obviously Robert, I mean, when I got a chance to talk to him for the very first time, I felt his passion and energy literally come through the phone of what he wanted to do to help develop, inspire, create happiness, create this elevated amount of success for everybody. And he was genuine about having an opportunity that everybody had the ability to succeed. The one thing we all know is there are people that will work and there are people that won't. And unfortunately, there are companies that don't create the ability for the masses. And that's something that Robert, along with all the other leaders that are involved, all the other executive team that have come together, and they've been putting this mastermind together for quite a long time. And I'm so blessed to have been welcomed in. And I look forward to meeting everybody, not just from our full executive staff, but everybody across the world that comes together. And as Robert said it, I fully believe this will be one band, one sound. I mean, we will create a roar, a thunder that will be one loud beat that people will hear, and they'll hear us coming. And it's one of the first times I've been able to sense that, feel that, and Robert, I'm beyond excited to be a part of this team and everything that is coming. I mean, the best, I mean, we've all heard this before, the best is yet to come, but it really is. And I know you've got some slides. Should I wait and go with the slides with you, or because I'm excited about this rewards program, Robert?
Yeah. So, and I know you are, and we all are, and we're happy to, really excited to have you on the team. So, I only have one slide. I'm gonna show it to you right now. And before I show it to you, I want to preface it by telling you, and you'll see when you see the slide, that I don't want to unveil all of the aspects of the rewards. I just want to talk about the couple of 2 or 3 things that are that we want to share tonight. And then, of course, we have a couple other people on the phone that I'll probably ask a couple other questions, who have also participated and helped, formulating this plan. So here's the slide, and you know it well. So just kind of there's four things here, Muzaffer, and I want you to just talk about maybe the first one and the last one. So let's talk about the beginner bonus and the lifestyle bonus, and then I'll take it back over from there.
No problem, and you're absolutely right. I mean, some of the individuals, and I don't want to take it away from you that you'll introduce. It was ladies and gentlemen, it was a group effort of some very intelligent, sharp, driven, and very heartfelt individuals that put this rewards program together. And as you can see, it's everyone needs this, and it literally starts with a beginner bonus. And the one thing that we all have to understand is, unfortunately, whether people have participated in the industry of building teams before or not, a lot of times it's filled with hype and emotion and what may be. And people get involved with this hope of what could happen. What I love about the beginner bonus, and John, I remember when we even talked about that word, beginner bonus, I loved that. But the beginner bonus, and you have the ability to earn a guaranteed amount of $1,500, and obviously we're going to start with US dollars, and there's different currencies, but $1,500 US dollars. And where that comes from is, you'll find out what our sharing bonus is, but it's that plus a monthly share and a 5% bonus pool. And the requirement is so simple. It's literally 2 personally enrolled people and maintaining 1,000 e-points. And the e-points, again, it's so simple. But what will happen is that you take that combination of earnings, and every month it adds up until a person earns the total of $1,500. I've seen people that were promised that they could earn X amount of dollars, but to be able to be guaranteed that getting involved, doing a few minimum things, that you'll earn $1,500 being a part of us, and at the same time, everything that comes with it, right? I mean, the product offering that we'll get into at a different point. But there's that. And the last one is a lifestyle. The quality of life is different for everybody. It just is. All of us have dreams and aspirations and goals, but all of us see and picture and dream the specifics slightly different. You know, and the fact is that for those of us that are going to help people develop, and those of us that are going to help people excel, and as we get promoted because of it, there will be a monthly amount starting with regional managers, which is a very simple, it's every single month they maintain the qualification of regional manager. So everything's based on staying qualified, right? And so as you go to national manager, it goes up to $500 a month, vice president $750 a month, presidential $1,000 a month, ambassador $1,500 a month, and I'm talking in US dollars, and global ambassador $2,000 a month. Every single month, on top of the other 8 ways. There's 9 ways that we earn an income, and 9 is a number most people know for prosperity, right? So this is what is that as you're helping people and doing the right thing, you will literally be able to live well because you're doing good. And that's such a key component of what we put together. And Robert, I'm like I said, if you can't tell by my voice, I'm just glad to be here, to be a part of this, because I can visualize where everything is going and the lives that will change, and the happiness that will be created from this as a group of all of us coming together. So, buddy, thank you for having me. Thank you to all the leaders. Thank you to everyone that spent some time to be on this call tonight, and just enjoy it. Enjoy every minute of this. So, Robert, back to you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks again, Muzaffer. And we're really looking forward to how you're going to teach and inspire people how to elevate their lives. So, and thanks for that. So next, there's a couple other people that have been integrally involved in building this rewards program, and we spent, I don't know, the last 6 months arguably testing, creating, thinking, rethinking, trying to build, you know, frankly, I know a lot of people say they have the best comp plan in the industry, and by the way, I hate to call it comp plans, but this truly is probably the most liberal, the most well-rounded, meaning from the beginner bonus to the lifestyle bonuses to the middle, everybody wins here. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But someone else on the call with us tonight has been probably, bar none, the most influential in building this plan, the most skilled person I've met building these type of plans for a couple of decades. He's consulted for multiple direct selling companies during his career. He's been a top income earner in big name companies that you would know. And he's also very much responsible for why we're blessed to be in a position to be launching a company globally, which very few people, or very few companies, I should say, if you study the industry, in its history, very few companies have been able to launch globally and internationally out of the gate. And so this gentleman I've known personally for the last 7 or 8 years of my life. He's someone that I have come to very much admire and trust, which is a big necessary part of the equation for all of us, is to have people on the ship, so to speak, that you have a relationship with, that you know and can trust, and really is on the same page with what the big picture mission is and all why. And that is Mr. Ken Eggleston. Ken, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Robert. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks for being on the call.
Thank
you.
Listen,
thank you. I wanted you to just talk a little bit about not so much the details of this plan per se, but why this plan is so relevant, the one or two key pieces that separate it from almost every other plan out there in your knowledge and experience in this industry, to help us understand why this thing is so powerful, and give us some of the vernacular. I think people didn't hear from myself, from Muzaffer, what this plan is in it. What we call it, right? There's different terminologies out there, and ours is a hybrid. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that as well.
Absolutely. And Robert, thank you for such a great, gracious introduction. And it's been a pleasure working with you. Knowing you and also being part of executive teams with you. So it's beyond an exciting time. So everybody on the phone here, I look at the group of people that have come together throughout this process and that have assisted in really, as we scoped, and Robert was exactly right, the better part of 6 months in molding this. Besides being in the industry myself, starting out as a distributor, when I was in law school, almost 20 years ago, and got into the field, and then about 9 years ago moved into both being a distributor and then running my own comp plan consulting company. It was that side of things where I started to sit at the executive tables and really started to understand from the ownership side just some of the unfortunate situations that occur within the industry. And just before I jump into this plan, I want the field to know, and the leadership, really the core leadership that's on this call tonight, when I was working with John Kinnear, who I want to especially recognize for all of his hard work and hours spent with me on this, as well as Mark Boskrot and the other leadership team. What I loved about this is Robert took a very rare position of what a CEO does of a company and says, build the best possible plan and give 70% of that plan to the field and do it on a $1 to 1 point ratio. So when you start to hear a CEO talk from that, we know companies out there that are doing billions of dollars a year, when you understand that from every dollar they take in, they're lucky if they're paying out 27 cents or 37 cents on that dollar to the field. The average company out there is probably averaging about 34 cents on the dollar taken in that they're actually paying back out to the field. And there are people making great, residual incomes from those companies. And all of you on this call are experienced leaders. So as we look to this, when Robert kind of, took the cuffs off and said, rather than having the smoke and mirrors that's been in this industry and designing comp plans that look attractive, but at the end of the day are designed with a whole bunch of different breakage points, whether it's required ranks that you have to have in your lineage, all these different, he said, get this thing, he goes, I hate breakage, I hate all these factors, I want a comp plan where the company takes 30% and the field takes 70%, make it the most attractive and aggressive that you can out there. And I want to give you that picture as to how we went forward, because right now you're looking at something that's kind of hazed out on a couple important areas, but once these things come through, you're going to see that there's no single comp plan in this industry from any legitimate company that's not a, not a scheme that's going to blow up in 6 months and disappear, but a true company that's built to do a multiple decade run. That's what's been put together here. So in terms, you're going to notice language that's in here that's not normal. You're not going to hear the binary term or different things like that because we're calling it different terminology. But this, guys, is the most aggressive binary unilevel with stated percentages on the specific levels, but more importantly, not levels, but generations, and dynamic compression in those generations, not static compression. So I know I'm talking kind of comp plan jargon here, but when you start to see what the average person will be able to make in this, and it's not going to have the design breakage in it that you'll see in most comp plans where it's a paid as weekly rank. And they know that, you're only going to have to, or you're only going to be able to hit that rank maybe once or twice in a month. Robert wanted this to be a paid as monthly rank. So you attain your rank, and the following month you're paid at that rank. You're going to see more things in here that are absolutely going to blow your mind. And Robert, I mean, to me, seeing this and being able to sit through and building, binaries, unilevels, binary unilevel hybrids, coded plans, matrices, I've never seen a plan be put together with the pieces that we have in the guts, and then surrounding that with the rank bonus, the lifestyle bonus, the beginner bonus, and the global bonus pool. It's just an untouchable juggernaut that's going to just cause a tidal wave once this thing is released, let alone the most important aspects, which aren't the comp plan, but the personal development and the elevation, guys. This is the icing on the cake. But the icing on the cake for those of us in the professional side of network marketing, people are going to go nuts with this. Forget about the 1/3, 2/3. Forget about all the other things with the breakage points. Forget about any other competitive unilevels. It's over once this gets released. Back to you, Robert.
Thanks, Ken. I don't know how many people on this call have been in the industry for, a short amount of time, long amount of time. I personally have been in it about 14 years as an owner or operator or provider, and I've never seen anything like it. I'm not a comp plan kind of guy. I'm more of a people kind of guy. But as I really, for the first time in my life on this journey in this industry, I've really taken the time to understand how these things work, and I do have a semi-high level understanding of other models out there, and it really is unbelievable. I'm really excited that we've been able to do what you said, Ken, and that is have a real payout at a staggering percentage, and be able to help a lot of people. That's what this is all about. And I don't want to spend very much more time on this topic of the rewards plan, but I do want to acknowledge the other person who is integrally involved in building this plan. Is another gentleman who's been in the industry, just as long as everyone else we're talking about here on the phone, a couple of decades, and has been, in fact, in one company for 18 or 19 years straight, with earning a check. So his knowledge and experience in the industry of building team, of being a leader in comp plan, knowledge, skill set on a global, international level. And again, a very integral part of helping build this, and one of our top field leaders before we even started yet, and that's Mr. John Kinnear. John, are you there? John, can you hear me? All right, I can see him on listed, but maybe he's not there. So I did want to talk about one of the components that you see here. John, I just saw your phone's muted. You there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Okay. How's it going?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, and thanks very much for that introduction. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm equally just very, very excited to have an opportunity to work with the caliber of individuals that you've assembled here as a team, and I've been very fortunate that I've had an opportunity, a bit of an opportunity to speak with them in some detail leading up to this point, and I'll tell you, you weren't joking when you said the final destination, because this is exactly what I've been looking for, and I think that anyone who has some significant experience in network marketing, who got involved in network marketing for the right reasons, to help others, to help people that matter to them reach their goals, and then sometimes are sadly frustrated to see such a high failure rate of individuals that are willing to make an effort, willing to do the things that are required, but for some reason just don't seem to get the breaks and make a plan pay for them. This is going to be a project for them, so I'm excited to see the whole thing in action this coming year.
Yeah, there's some people listening on the call that I know are here with us. They're not, they're not speakers, so they can't actually, I can't bring them on the phone. But I know there's some, I've had a couple conversations with a couple people just in the last 2 or 3 days. One of them I know is on the phone, a guy named Matt, who is experienced, pretty much what you just said, John, who's, been trying to find his way for the last several years, attempting to participate in other companies. And, one of the things I learned on this journey in direct selling is, we don't really sell a product, right? We sell hope. People are hoping that if they join this company or that company, that it's going to help them achieve whatever it is they're, hoping and dreaming about, whether it's time freedom or private school or quit their job, whatever it is. But in this industry, unfortunately, it's been difficult. And so I know there's some people that are really like you, not just hoping that this is the one, but are in such a deep-rooted belief because of, who we all are and our relationships together, that and this kind of power of this kind of rewards program. And this rewards program is just the tip of the iceberg. And I want to talk about that in detail. Because what's not said here in this plan, and of course I'm not showing you everything intentionally, but the bigger, most valuable part of the plan isn't the plan, it's the customer acquisition component of it. But before I talk about that, I really want to talk about this global bonus pool. It's something that I really wanted to hammer home in terms of the ability for everyone who achieves, and you can see some of the ranks here, and by the way, part of the reason we're not showing you everything is that we're not 100% convinced that we like the titles of the ranks, for example. We'll have that dialed in shortly. But based on your you doing the work, right? You still got to work a little. And everybody on this call is in the industry of home-based business somewhere around the world. We have people all in a bunch of countries on the call. But at the end of the day, what we really wanted to have is a global structure for you to benefit from everyone else's success. And I wanted to show this tonight because it really matters to me. There's a guy named James Tarrington. He's kind of a philosopher, musician, and it's something that I read recently really inspired me, and he says, our success is indivisible, which indivisible simply means that you cannot be divided. And the statement is, his is a global statement, and although it still means the same thing for me personally, it really is the essence of what this plan is meant to be and what Four Oceans is meant to be, and that is this: the success of anyone, anywhere. The success of anyone, anywhere is the success of all of us, everywhere. So that's really the essence of this plan and the bonus pools, and it simply means that when you achieve a middle rank and above, you start earning shares in a global bonus pool. That means you have a vested interest in everyone else's success. And the reason this was important to me is that there's a lot of comp models out there in this industry where that's not the case. In other words, you don't benefit from some other team or some other line of lineage or some other group, and especially on a global level. A lot of these companies, when they go internationally, unless that country or volume is underneath your team, you have no benefit. In this compensation plan, this is significant because you earn shares in a global volume of the company. That means in all of the revenues generated everywhere on planet Earth, you participate in. And as you achieve a higher rank, you earn more shares, and the more you participate in those pools. And so again, the success of anyone everywhere is the success of all of us everywhere. And I think philosophically, I think politically, I hate to say that, it's going to revolutionize. It's a total paradigm shift in the thought process of how we help each other succeed. So anyway, I wanted to make that point, and then I really wanted to share a little bit of a teaser of what's coming, because I know, it's amazing that the team that has been involved in the field around the world have really not seen what we're about to unleash. We've been very guarded with it, number one. We've talked about it, but they haven't actually seen it. And for some of them on the phone for the first time tonight has seen this branding and this stuff that Dave, Neil, and his team are responsible for putting together. But the essence of what we're doing is we're trying to change lives. At the end of the day, why are we choosing to be in the direct selling world? Because arguably it's the greatest way to get in front of the most amount of people, the educational content, curriculum, and life skills that can help them achieve whatever they're looking for, no matter what they're doing in life. And by the way, that it doesn't have to have anything to do with network marketing or direct selling. In other words, if you're trying to succeed in life, if you're trying to be a better employee, if you're trying to have a better relationship, if you have your own business manufacturing umbrellas in your garage, or you own a franchise or a gas station, you need life skills. You need some of this stuff. But the real power of what we're doing has to do with a little bit newer technology that's out there around the neuroscience of happiness. And so we've brought some people in who are on the cutting edge of this positive psychology around the world that has, over the last few years, has turned into a global phenomenon. In fact, there's more books being written about happiness than in the history of books right now. It's like a movement. You probably see it in the social networks. Everyone's talking about happiness. And the fact of the matter is, everyone's on a pursuit of happiness. All of you on this call, I know I am, we're all trying to figure out how to get happier and experience joy in our life, right? Well, what's interesting is, in this industry of direct selling, we've spent the better part of the last 3 decades using the business of what you can make financially as kind of the lure to your happiness. In other words, how many of you have heard, things like, if you get to, you can drive this car and live in this house, and then you'll be happy. Well, we've learned through one of our educators, Mr. Sean Acor, who wrote the book, The Happiness Advantage, who's part of our team, that formula is backwards. The formula for success is backwards. It's actually that happiness fuels success. And that became a paradigm shift for us when we got introduced to the concept last year, that, wait a second, if that's true, that means that if we help people elevate their sense of well-being, in other words, get happier now, then they have a much greater chance of succeeding in whatever it is they're doing. So what if we made that the product? What if it wasn't personal development 101, which we have, by the way, on steroids, but what if we taught people that if they elevated their sense of well-being, they could change the way they think, and if they change the way they think, they could succeed at whatever they do. And now I know that's the essence of what personal development has been for decades and decades, but now the neuroscience, the research actually proves scientifically that it's true, and we can actually point to the research. We can point to the documentation, and what we've done Four Oceans and our product and our curriculum is that we've put it into a learning management system. We are building and have been building and are continuing to build basically virtual online training that works in any mobile device. You see the image on the screen here is of an iPad. So what's very unique is that anybody anywhere on planet Earth through a smartphone or mobile device and an internet connection can access our video-enabled virtual online training in our own learning management system in an environment of exclusive educators, trainers, authors, mentors, thought leaders from around the world. And to be announced next week, we have just acquired probably the greatest stable and warehouse of personal development coaches ever, names you will know, that we have exclusively within our network. It's a really exciting times. So I'm just going to leave it there with that because I wanted to just give you a little bit about, our why is to share this with the world and inspire people to help people elevate their lives, and that's kind of the premise behind the video, if you've seen it, of helping people succeed, and you become their hero in sort of a roundabout way, and it's an exciting experience when you help people achieve what they're looking for. And we've learned in our journey that if you help enough people, you end up helping yourself, and even financially. So moving from here, I wanted to introduce the next person in the equation. So my background is also travel. I've spent the last 19 years in the travel industry. And I spent in the early 90s, mid-90s, I basically was I designed websites for travel. But back then there really wasn't any websites for travel. So I kind of cut my teeth designing, then I got into technologies and into the early 2000s that turned into some significant technologies and companies and that kind of stuff. But more importantly, what I learned about travel is the importance of travel from the standpoint of elevating your life as well. So it's one thing to learn some life skills, it's one thing to learn goal setting, those are all really important. But isn't it interesting how everybody wants to go on vacation? Now, I used to think on a different journey that the size of the industry mattered, which is a $7 trillion industry, by the way. The size of the industry mattered simply because we had a business opportunity attached to it. Today, my belief about travel is that I know the studies, and here's some examples. We now know that an annual vacation can reduce your risk of heart attack by 50%. Or 54% of couples believe that their relationship is rejuvenated by going on vacation. Or 82% of executives travel on vacation to unwind from the stresses of the job, and so on. And the list goes on and on and on. Yet, 500 million vacation days were left unused last year in the U.S. alone. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, but here's where I'm going with this, and that is travel and vacation matter to people for the simple fact that it elevates their life. It's actually healthy to travel. So I want to preface it by saying that Four Oceans is not a travel company. It's not a travel club. It's not a travel MLM. But we're using travel to enhance your life by offering you perks and benefits relative to travel. And I'm not going to share any of those perks and benefits tonight on the phone, but what I do want to do is introduce you to the gentleman who is going to be the president of this company. And he's not going to be the president of this company because of his 30 years of accolades in travel that are just frankly mind-blowing. Now, I've been in the travel industry, like I said, a long time, and I know a lot of some of the biggest names in the industry, but I have never met anybody who has this knowledge and experience at working with companies like American Airlines or Sabre Holdings, one of the biggest travel companies in the world, or Virtuoso, which is the American Express luxury travel line. And the list goes on. He's been to 96 or 97 countries now, and traveling the world to establish and continue the relationships that he has built over the last several decades in the industry of travel. But his passion is about the experiences of travel. In fact, right now as we speak, he's on the phone with us, but right now he's in Europe at a travel show. But this is not why he's qualified to participate in this journey we're on. It's a big part of our benefit, but he's also a published author, and what he's learned and specialized in, starting when he first went to college many years ago, is business evangelism, and from a corporate sense. And business evangelism, as translated by him in his own book, is the practice of enthusiastically translating a product or service concept into the listener's perspective with the intent of converting that audience. In other words, he cares about what his audience, what his customers, what his clients want, and he listens to them. He's an evangelist for them. He cares about their experiences. He cares about the product. And for me, that is job one. Why? Because there's an interesting component to what we're doing with our educators, trainers, mentors, authors, and thought leaders, and that is, first and foremost, we're giving you and your customers the ability to access that content from anywhere in the world in our virtual online training system. That's part one. But part two, if you're familiar with trainers and educators and authors, you know that they do seminars all the time. In fact, some of the people we have involved are some of the most sought-after seminar speakers in the world. Sean Acor has just finished 28 days straight of traveling the globe. Chris Gardner, who's also on our team, is one of the most sought-after inspirational coaches on planet Earth. Just came back from Italy. Before that, he was in Brazil. So that's what, in personal development and seminars, speakers, that's what they do. They do seminars. Well, we're marrying those two things together as part of the ancillary benefit for your participation. And those are called vacation hours. And vacation hours is just a seminar on vacation. And again, that's not a product of Four Oceans. That's just a benefit because we happen to own the travel companies too. But the combination of those things together and the experiences of that is why this gentleman, who I want to introduce you to and hear from a little bit, is overly qualified to be the president of this company. And his name is Mr. Jim Min. Jim, are you there?
I am, Robert. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. How's it going over there?
It's good. It's 2:54 in the morning, which is awesome because I'm not sleepy at all. Where I live, it's kind of a couple hours before you. I think it's like 6 in the afternoon or so.
All right.
And you know, the first thing I wanted to say is just I wanted to say thank you to you. Say thank you to the other leaders and thank you to the folks who were on the call. You know, when we talked about, when Tracy and Mark kind of talked about putting the call together, you know, I just thought about, again, the same thing that Ken talked about, same thing Dave, same thing Muzaffar talked about, John. You know, just that what a great opportunity we have, and for me, as you talked about, I mean, my thing is about, you know, creating opportunities, and whether it was my work at American Airlines or Sabre American Express, I spent 10 years working for investment companies in the travel industry, so that's where I spent a lot of time around the world. And And I thought about this call, and I thought about, what are the important things that we want to do? What are the things that we want to do different? Ken talked about things that are different in the compensation plan. And for me, when I think about leading a company, the things that I think about are, what are the ways that we make it easier for people to be able to do what they do and what they're passionate about. And for me, that's what I consider my number one task. My number one task is what do we do that makes this thing easy for everyone else to do, and in an environment that they can wake up every day and feel good about that they have a product, that they have a service, that they have a way to go out and sell what they sell and make an honest living doing that. I thought about things like encouraging direction. One of the things that I'm happy that I've been able to do in my career is really helping people with this thing right here. They're helping people achieve their hopes and their dreams. So thank you. I know you didn't put that slide together for me, but thank you. Setting an example. I thought about the things that are important to me. Things like reputation and honor and integrity and character, and being positive. Those are things that we should aspire to. I mean, like you said earlier, Robert, making money is an honest thing. It's an honest goal. It's a great goal. It helps economies. It helps it helps us achieve things that we want to do. And those things are important to me as well. And really at the end, what I thought about was, kind of why I do what I do and why I've been able to do what I've done in my career is it's just about creating opportunities. And the message that I would give to the leaders on the call and to the people in the field that's our goal. Our goal is every day is to create opportunities. And thank you, Robert, for giving us that that space to be able to do that. So thank you again.
Yeah, no, I thank you guys. I'm just Robert. I'm on my own pursuit of happiness. So I really am excited about the future with all of us, and where we're going. So I want to acknowledge one other person before I kind of finish out here. Is the gentleman that is most responsible for putting this call together and introducing us, originally through Ken with the rest of the team, especially in Southeast Asia, as Mark Boscarado, who has been, just a champion of everything, along with Adam, who opened the call up, who are really significant leaders where they're at in Australia. But really just, the kind of people that understand, what we're doing and why we're doing it and where we're going, and are, just all in and believe, Mark, maybe you could just give a couple minutes of why you believe this is the last place you're ever going to be.
Yes, can you hear me, Robert?
I can.
Thank you very much. And that this call's been absolutely inspiring. Can't wait to get out there. We've had this in Melbourne, Australia. I live in Melbourne, Australia. We've had the Melbourne Cup, and I feel like one of these thoroughbreds that is in the gates, just ready to jump out and try to win that Melbourne Cup there. It's a $6 million race here. It's been crazy. But the beauty about Four Oceans is that everybody can win if you have that desire. And all the speakers that have been on here, you've just developed a fantastic team, Robert, and it's just going to be an outstanding journey. And we just all can't wait to get it released to the world. The year's nearly over, so I'd strongly recommend all the people on this call, and there's many, many people on this call that are also excited to get things happening. But we've got nearly 2 months left till the end of the year, so when we do launch, let's just build that momentum to make an outstanding 2015, because my goal, or what I'd like to do, is to help as many people who want to get rid of their 9-to-5 jobs and be free. We are going to do so much travel with Four Oceans. We'll do more travel than the average person will do in 10 lifetimes. So, I'm just so pleased to be part of the journey, and also to be part of this outstanding group of people. So once again, Robert, thank you very much for your vision, and it's going to be a fantastic journey. Back to you.
Thanks, Mark. So I just want to wrap up with this. I know there's been some questions that I got sent that some of you on the call have been asking your, people you're in relationship with to know about, or asking about what's coming. Right now, we believe we are on track to flip the switch next week, the 15th. And it's a daily thing, so we're 99.9% sure that's going to happen. And when we do, we're going to be in business. So that means that rewards program is going to start. You're going to start earning money, the following week. It's a global compensation plan, and it's a global pay system. There's an e-wallet system, and we'll shortly, at some point at the beginning of the week, announce the countries where we'll be live in out of the gate. And we have a pretty aggressive plan over the next 6 to 8 months to roll into several other countries that we already have leadership in or relationships in, and we're just, to be honest with you, taking our time to do it right. And that matters, especially with the growth we expect to have, just based on what's already happening, and you guys out there who were previously building in that other company, Vinco. And by the way, a good segue into, I know a lot of people on the call were following that other company, and Jacob, who I'm sure is listening, who's another very significant part, Jacob Go, of what we're doing and how we all came together. And I want to recognize him. And this loyalty rewards program is still coming. It's still a big part of what we're doing. It's just not the product, right? It's an ancillary benefit to helping people achieve their hopes and dreams. And it's really exciting because we've got some stuff no one else has that will help people earn points and rewards towards the curriculum or towards some of the other ancillary perks and benefits related to some of our travel stuff and vacation hours. So that stuff's coming too. We're not in a rush. We're not in a rush to do it wrong. We're not in a rush to open countries. We believe that we're going to be here for a long time, and we're going to open countries when it makes sense and when it's legal, and have all of our ducks in a row. And concurrent to that, we recognize that we have language barriers and jobs to do. I mean, we have a ton of curriculum that I'm so excited to share with you all of the educators that we have in the equation. And of course, we're starting in English. We'll obviously only be launching in countries out of the gate that, English is a second language, where everyone speaks English. I'm sure everybody on this call is listening to us in English. But what I want to leave you with is, really, again, part of what we've been modeling, part of the reason we spent 6 months building this rewards program, was there's some terminology. It's actually a book that was written and process, and that's called Blue Ocean Strategy. And what that simply means is a Blue Ocean Strategy is a company that has created its own market, and they modeled companies like Apple and Nike, and Cirque du Soleil is probably the best example. Before Cirque du Soleil, there was Barnum Bailey or Three Ring Circuses, and then Cirque du Soleil came along, and they created their own market within the circus world. And that's what not that we're trying to be completely different, but we are really trying to model things that are unique. And what I wanted to leave you with is sort of one of those things that's a paradigm shift. And that's what you see here on the screen. And that is this. One of the aspects of this industry is that, typically when you want to share with a friend, family, coworker, neighbor, whatever your product or service is in this industry, typically you're asking them for money. Typically you want them to get on quote-unquote auto ship, or buy that coffee or that nutritional beverage or that subscription to that service, whatever it is. And that's become a little taboo, right? Especially if people have been in more than 1 or 2 or 3 business opportunities. It's become difficult to talk to your, quote-unquote warm market or people you're in a relationship with. So one of the things that we're doing is that you're going to be able to join 4Oceans for free as a starting point. And what you're going to get at free is going to be incredibly powerful, real value. That if we're right, people being able to come in to get real value for free in content and curriculum that makes a difference for them, they're going to share it without any fear, without any having to ask them for money, with their friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors. And what's interesting is, and this is really the paradigm shift, is that those are going to be free members and customers who are referring their other friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors that would become free members and customers, who eventually will, or in some cases immediately, elevate their subscription to a paying membership. And we're not going to talk about the subscription and pricing tonight, for those of you that might be waiting for that. That'll come next week. But if you're following, this means that customers are going to duplicate customers. That means people are going to be sharing, and as those people are free and they share it with other people who start off as free, and as they elevate the subscription as customers, what's powerful about this is that it's still in the volume of your rewards program. So if you remember, Ken's talking about this as sort of a hybrid binary unilevel. Well, that unilevel means you have a group volume. And that means every single person who comes in and subscribes to the curriculum as a customer, and as they share it with their friends, family, coworkers, and neighbors as customers, that's all volume. So this means customers are duplicating customers without that aspect of having to ask them for money or even talk about the business opportunity, which is the paradigm shift. So in other words, we have an aggressive customer acquisition model, not a rep recruiting model. We don't need to talk about why. We'll talk about that in future trainings of why that makes a difference. But what really matters is that people can come into this equation, get real value, and get inspired to share it with their friends, family, and coworkers around the world, and cause a ripple effect of us helping people elevate their lives. Sean Acor was in the studio yesterday, and we captured some just unbelievable thoughts about the ripple effect that 4Oceans is about to have for exactly the reasons I just told you. As we go out and elevate ourselves through this personal development, through this life skills, and we share it with others, and because we're a global company, the ripple effect is going to possibly be a tipping point. And Sean was talking yesterday about, all the negativity in the world. What if we, 4Oceans, in our global initiative to help people think differently and more positive through this positive psychology, as they elevate their sense of well-being, they elevate their sense of happiness, we could actually make an impact everywhere around the world. So, guys and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for being on this call, for being patient over the last several months, where we've asked you to hold on while we take our time and get things right. But we're right there. We're right at the door. We're about to open it, and get ready for a fun, exciting, and meaningful ride. So Adam, if you're still there, again, thanks for having all of us on the call, and we look forward to talking again very soon.
Thanks very much, Robert, and really appreciate your insight and all the information we've been able to get today and tonight, depending on where you are. With the panelist team we had, again, it was absolutely awesome. It was a call I think that everyone got a lot of value from. So stay tuned. There's some amazing and very exciting updates still to come. hopefully at the back end of next week, we're going to be looking at the launch of this business. So really get yourself primed and ready. Make sure that you start working with your upline leaders to start planning out the attack plan from as of next week to really drive your business. And as Mark said, capitalize on the rest of the year. We've got an exciting ride going to happen in 2015 with this opportunity, but now's the time to start planning, to start talking to people, because this thing will literally explode. Thanks very much, Robert. Appreciate your time and everything you've done in putting this together, and we certainly couldn't be in better hands. So thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing everyone on the next call. Thanks again.